Gaming altcoins offer some of the biggest gains during crypto bull markets, and right now with Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs every single day, Bitcoin dominance is threatening to fall. When the Bitcoin dominance finally topples, you're going to see the key narratives absolutely exploding. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to tell you about 6 gaming projects that I'm personally holding that I think have still got significant upside left in them as soon as that Bitcoin dominance drops. So, without further ado, hit that like button and let's get into it. Now guys, before we dive in and find out about those 6 key projects, it's really important that you realize that your altcoins you're holding might be underperforming, but you shouldn't be too concerned. Bitcoin surging towards the upside. There is literally billions of dollars every day coming into crypto and entering into Bitcoin. Eventually, it will come, Bitcoin will stall, and then what we're going to see is the Bitcoin dominance topple. Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of the crypto market that Bitcoin is representing. Right now it's 57%, and eventually after this little pullback we're going to see a send like this. This was the last bull market. It was no different. Bitcoin was running really hot. It then had a bit of a cool off, and when that happened we saw the likes of XRP, Ethereum, and a bunch of others starting to pump. And then after that happened, we then went in and the mainstream market pumped. We saw a bunch of altcoins, smaller caps, etc. going crazy. We are yet to enter that phase, but it's going to happen sooner perhaps rather than you think. So why crypto gaming? Well, right now, this is starting to show itself as a hot sector. Why has that happened since the 22nd of November? Bearing in mind that we've been pretty dead for gaming up until about this point. Well, it's because suddenly we've seen an influx of retail investors. And what do retail investors like to invest in crypto bull markets? Gaming projects. Why? Most people have played games at some point in their life. Maybe they still play games. It's easy to understand why gaming and blockchain is such a natural fit, because you can see a lot of people starting to enter into games where they're interacting with the blockchain to maybe upgrade their skills and upgrade their kind of user experience by investing in different weapons, etc. And this means we've got a gateway for mass adoption to start taking place. Not only that, gaming is the biggest entertainment industry in the world by a long way. This chart is from 2022, so yes, it's a little out of date. And yes, you can go and look for a more up-to-date version, which actually is going to show a bigger void between gaming, books, films, music. For some reason, I just couldn't find it today, but don't worry, okay? This shows you something key. Gaming is the biggest entertainment industry. That's what we need to know. Narratives that are going to do really well in this bull market, real-world assets, deep in, AI, and gaming. Brilliant, right? Easy. Lots of gaming projects out there. Which are the good ones? How do we identify some winners? Well, you're in the right place, because I'm going to talk to you about a variety of different gaming projects, ecosystems, games, etc. with varying different market caps. So without further ado, I'm going to stop waffling. Let's get on with it. In number 1, a coin that has seen a little bit of excitement recently, and that is Super Champs. Now, currently with a market cap of $99 million, it's not the smallest project we're going to talk about today, but by no means should you be concerned, because there is a lot of upside left in this, mainly because it was a fair launch coin. It doesn't have any significant unlocks to be coming out at any point during this bull market. It's pretty much at a full circulating supply right now, and it's yet to be listed on any centralized exchanges, which, yes, is a pain in the ass, because it means it's difficult for you to buy it if you're not sure about using DEXs. It's available on Aerodome Finance, but more importantly, it has the catalyst of when it gets launched on exchanges, the price will increase dramatically. It happens time and time again. As soon as this hits MEXC, OKX, Binance, etc., it's going to go bananas. So what is Super Champs? Well, it's a gaming ecosystem from Web2 developers who are previously part of EA Games, Disney, and many other huge brands. It's an animated metaverse with a focus towards esports. So basically, you have your little character. You then train up your character to participate in various different esports. It's a collection of various different play-to-earn games and Telegram games, as well as having different things like NFTs that you can collect through participating in these games. It will also introduce things like a TikTok channel with kind of different storylines going along, and a comic book, which is pretty exciting because it's kind of building up that ecosystem and the interest in the game from not just a crypto investment standpoint. When it comes to crypto gaming, focus more on what games are delivering for the active user out there, not just from what you can go and invest in to make money, because this is going to allow you to understand which projects are likely to boom the most. And at the same time, this is great because we can invest in it and we can make money. Now, this has rallied pretty quickly, going from 17 million up to 99 million quite recently. But as I've said, I think that once we start to list on exchanges, etc., this could be a really big fish during this crypto bull market. And I'm anticipating this project going 15, maybe even 20x during this bull market. Now, this is over on dexscreener.com. Obviously, again, it's not on centralized exchanges, so you can't use TradingView. It's on dexscreener.com. You can check out the charts here. At the moment, we can see it's been rallying up aggressively and continues to show strength. Yes, I don't like to necessarily buy into highs up here. If we're going to get a pullback to this zone down here at around 8 to 9 cents, then in my personal opinion, it's a reasonable entry, okay? Don't go and ape in necessarily right at the top. There will be other coins I'm going to talk about today that are probably also going to need us to have a bit of a pullback into a zone that we want to buy at, okay? 8.5 to 9 cents is a decent buy zone in my opinion, but that's obviously not financial advice. Go and do your own research. Next up, with a market cap of $71 million, is Play. Now, Play was previously known as Ready Games, a very popular project that captured a lot of excitement over the last 12 months or so. Now again, Ready Games is on base and is not yet available on centralized exchanges. Notice a theme here. Some of the ones I will talk about will be on centralized exchanges, but by not being on centralized exchanges, it means there are huge catalysts left to pump the price of this coin. At the moment, it's available on Uniswap as well as Aerodome Finance. Now, Play is a crypto gaming studio with over 2,000 gaming titles already behind them. And basically what they're trying to achieve is to provide the rails and guidance for Web 2 games to integrate into the blockchain and start to utilize various elements of the blockchain technology to improve the games. And this to me is quite powerful because obviously the gaming industry we've already looked at is enormous, but most of those people are not Web 3 gamers, i.e. they're not aware of playing to earn and all these kind of different games. What they're simply doing is playing for enjoyment. There are millions of people out there, if not billions, playing games for the sheer fun of it. Who would have thought? Rather than just being crypto degenerates and trying to make money out of everything all the time. And this could be exciting because they're looking for ways to onboard hundreds of millions of people into crypto. Now, at the moment, they already have a few games being powered by Play. And if you're subscribed to the House of Crypto, you will know that when it comes to gaming, often there is lower risk to be able to invest in various different ecosystems, coins that are geared towards various different games rather than one individual game. This makes for better, healthier risk to reward in my opinion, but don't worry, I am going to give you a couple of games later on that I still think have some significant upside, whilst they might be slightly on the riskier end of plays. So again, with the idea in mind of being able to onboard millions of users, can Play go significantly higher from here? Well, at $71 million, I don't see why this can't see a 20 to maybe even a 30x should this bull run go heavily towards gaming. Remember, there is a lot of money that's going to arrive into crypto. It doesn't all have to stay in one place at once. It can wash around from ecosystem to ecosystem, pumping some coins like crazy on some days and then moving the pump to others. Okay, so yes, that might sound like a bold statement to see $2 billion market caps for coins like this, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Once Bitcoin starts to cool down, once those trillions of dollars start to find their way into gaming and then AI and then real world assets, etc. And if you want to identify the different narratives that money is moving in and out of all the time, and before everyone else is talking about them, then make sure you subscribe to the House of Crypto. Every single day, I tell you different crypto projects that I see huge potential in, like My Lovely Planet that went up 6x after we talked about it, or Metade that's up over 3x in just the last couple of weeks. Every single day, I'm helping you to identify the trends, narratives, rotations, as well as being able to identify coins for yourself, because that is the best way for you to make as much money as possible during this crypto bull market. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the House of Crypto notification bell on, and maybe you can catch a coin that's going to do a 6 or 7x in the next week or so. Now up next, a coin I've just told you about that has seen some significant upside since we've been talking about it. But don't worry, it has had a big pullback, and that's why I wanted to bring it up again, because I still think this is a great coin with some good opportunity left in it, and it is Metade. Now with a market cap of $48 million, we can still see that there is a lot of excitement left in this. Now, Metade is available on more centralized exchanges. Currently, it is available on Bitunix, and I'll tell you later on the benefits of trading over on Bitunix and how you can sign up for it to access coins like Metade. Now, Metade labels itself as the home of gaming on Base, and you've probably seen something in common. A lot of these projects are launching on Base right now, and that's quite an important thing because Base is an ecosystem that is seeing a lot of growth. It's the native blockchain of Coinbase, one of the world's biggest crypto exchanges, a very retail investor friendly exchange as well. There's a good chance into the future that some of these coins might be listing onto the likes of Coinbase, and that will be very exciting for the price action indeed. Now again, Metade is like a gaming ecosystem. There's a host of different games available on Metade for you to go and play. This is key, right? Because if you're backing a game that turns out to be a bit shit, then that game might not do so well, your investment doesn't do well. But if you're backing a studio or you're backing an ecosystem of different games, this is great because they might have some games that aren't so good, but if one of their games takes off and is really successful, then guess what? Your investment will also be successful. Now, recently, Metade did something huge, and they partnered with Superverse, which is the project of LEO Trades and is one of the biggest market cap projects in all of gaming. One that's also been one of the top performers since Q3 and Q4 of this year, and is basically shining the light for the possibilities for other projects within gaming to really start to take off. Now, Metade, since we talked about it on the channel the other day, has been absolutely pumping, but has recently seen some pullback into this area. Now, if we go and jump into the daily chart, we can see that it's establishing areas of support. This was previous resistance, which often gives us a bit of support entry here, okay? So around here, at like 3.6 cents, it seems reasonable, although, of course, if the market cools off further, then it can come down lower. What I personally do in times like this, for coins I want to get into, is I establish various areas of support. So let's say I've got $100 right now. I wanted to invest in Metade. I could put in $50 here. If the price then gets down lower to here, I've got another $50 to put into this, so that if scenario A plays out, I'm happy because I've got exposure. If scenario B plays out, I'm even happier because I got to buy down even lower, whereas everyone else who's in the game right now is starting to panic sell because they're buying these candles. It dips like this, they then panic sell, and they're wondering whether they're buying the right thing, which is why I insist that you start to up your skill level in this game, because it's the only way that you're going to really make significant money in this market, because it's going to allow you to hold coins through dips and pumps and all this other good stuff, by knowing full well the potential locked up in some of these projects. Now, Metade's sitting with a $48 million market cap. Can it go to $1 billion? I don't see why not, given what's been happening across the space right now, given the amount of money that's about to flood into the ecosystem. That's a 20x, which, considering where we are in this market cycle right now, is pretty good returns. But obviously, nothing is guaranteed. I might be wrong. I'm happy to hold a variety of different coins, on the idea that some of them will do really damn well, some of them will probably do okay. Metade, I hope, is one that's going to do really damn well, and it's already been doing some of that already. Now on to the next one, and one that's been underperforming recently, which has got a few people a little bit rattled, but Carrot, with an $80.5 million market cap, is looking pretty good from a chart perspective. And as soon as I see people like this being like, I saw a lot of potential, it's a shame, it's been dipping, I see other people being like, I'm bearish, it's garbage, it's been dumping on me. These are just newbies who haven't got a clue what goes on in crypto, okay? They panic, they feel they've been led on, they feel it's someone else's fault, okay? That's the first rule of this game in crypto. If you're buying anything, it can go down as well as up. Longer term, most likely, many of these coins are going to go up. If you're feeling sad and upset, don't go and blame other people and other projects, because ultimately it was you that decided to buy that coin, okay? However, when you're feeling a bit sad like this and people are worried, this is actually the time to be entering. When everyone in the world is bullish on a coin, it's probably the time to be getting out, okay? Anyway, Carrot is the token behind a single game called My Pet Hooligan Game, which is an NFT collection game. They have at the moment early access to be able to go and play the game over on Epic Games. And they're going to be looking to come to consoles in the future, like PlayStation, Xbox, etc. They already have things like Community Cups, which are bringing in a load of different active users. And they recently announced that Carrot will become a studio chain for everything that they're building within this ecosystem, which is kind of what's getting me excited. I don't typically like to invest in just a single game unless there's significant evidence to support something big going on. Lots of excitement, lots of building, lots of progress, etc. Now, this game has already been talked about by the likes of Alex Becker, Elio Trades, and we know with their backing, this could be a very big catalyst to see this coin getting shoved on pretty aggressively into the future. That's another reason I'm kind of looking at this as a potential. Not only that, but unlike a lot of other charts that are looking a little bit too green for my liking to be buying in, this one has actually been looking a little bit red, a little bit scary for many newbies out there, and that's what we want to capitalize on. You can see this area moving through here. We do have some form of a ascending triangle. We're testing down in this area. This, to me, looks like a fairly decent buying opportunity compared to up here, okay? Could it go down here? Absolutely, but right now it does look much better value at around 48 cents than it did at 76 cents when all those little guys who are crying into CoinMarketCap about this being a bit of a rug pull or whatever were buying into it, mainly because they bought the top rather than just buying the dips, okay? Buy the dips. This will probably shape up to be a pretty good one, in my personal opinion, but I could be wrong. Now, on to the next one with a much smaller market cap than probably all the others that I'm talking about today, and that is Corpo World, with a $23.5 million market cap. Now, this one is actually available on some centralized exchanges, namely MEXC, and I will give you a link for MEXC later on so that you can buy pretty much any coin that you want. And make sure you use my link, because both the Bitunix and MEXC will give you additional bonuses as well. Now, Corpo is a gaming platform that's been designed for everyday gamers. Again, this is something we were looking towards, okay? Platforms that are actually trying to make games that are fun, that people want to play, rather than just investments. They're trying to simplify Web3 integration, allowing Web2 games to come and integrate into blockchain, and opening up opportunities for different players, developers alike. allows developers to add things to their existing games, like the ability to trade NFTs, integrate things like wallet and various different other tools for trading and earning royalties while playing different games. And this is something that's pretty cool because, again, it's focusing on onboarding, mass adoption, etc., which is why gaming is such an exciting ecosystem to pay attention to. Right now, at this current valuation of $23 million, I do see this coin probably being one of our top performers today, mainly because it's slightly earlier on in its life cycle. So from around $23 million, can this go up to around $1 billion? I don't see, again, why not? A lot of coins do have huge possibilities. That would take it towards a 40x, but obviously if we get 20 to 30x, I'm going to be pretty happy, whatever. From this chart perspective, you can see that we've had a fairly solid correction after a launch back in March. This was very common. If you were in the space back in March, we saw Bitcoin rallying hard, altcoins are looking very strong, then we saw Bitcoin go sideways. A lot of altcoins cooled off. It's very natural to see this pattern, and in fact, a very healthy pattern for us to be able to try and invest in, because we know we have this downtrend. We then create this cup pattern here, and then once we start to break beyond this cup pattern, then we have ourselves a very reasonable entry point. So anywhere within this cup for Corpo, which is below 25 cents, I'm pretty happy to be accumulating more. I do anticipate this going much higher into the future. Now, last but no means least, My Lovely Planet, which is My Lovely Coin over on CoinMarketCap, at $36.5 million. Now, I first brought this to you on the channel the other day at $5.6 million. And since then, it has been rallying towards the upside. Now, I don't recommend necessarily that you go and buy into this right now because it is pumping aggressively. And I would suggest that maybe, should you get a pullback, that this could be a good opportunity. Why? Well, because the developers behind My Lovely Planet come from Candy Crush. Candy Crush is a multi-billion-dollar company that makes billions of dollars in revenue every single year. My Lovely Planet has a kind of similar game, but within the game it has various different other features, like the ability to kind of earn points and plant trees. The team are actively planting trees right now, which has allowed them to acquire already in their first few months of operation over 300,000 active players, over 500,000 followers on TikTok, nearly 1 million followers on Instagram. And this is really cool because it allows them to acquire a player at around 12 cents per player, okay? Whereas Candy Crush pays around $1.07 to acquire a player. Lots of players in the ecosystem means lots of money. Now, at the moment, they do have a game, 300,000 active users, as I've said, downloadable on Google Play and the App Store. And as of January, they're going to be linking up the game with the blockchain and the token, which means that average users out there who don't even know that they're interacting with crypto can start to buy these tokens and interact with this ecosystem. That will really upset the supply and demand model. And if you're holding tokens, well, potentially hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users come in and start to play that game, then you could be on something very exciting indeed, pushing this $36 million market cap significantly higher into the future. If Candy Crush was a crypto project, we'd be looking at multi-billion-dollar market cap. So what does that tell you about where My Lovely Planet could end up? But as I said, it's been pumping like crazy, going up pretty much every single day, which I know if you're new to crypto is enticing. You're like, just shut up, tell me where to buy it right now. I want to buy that big ass green candle. Well, don't do it, okay? Because when you go and buy a big green candles, no matter how good and how promising that project sounds, often you end up with something like this happening. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen now. Who knows when it happens, okay? But it will happen at some point because nothing goes up in a straight line. And eventually, I assume that we see a bit more of a push, and then eventually we see maybe a cool off like this, and that gives you your buying opportunity, okay? So if you are impatient, you can't wait, and you're going to go and buy it anyway, then, you know, good luck to you, okay? But personally, I like to wait for pullbacks like this one we saw here. We have a nice pullback. You could have got in at that zone and then look at the next rally, okay? We get a pullback, get in at that zone, you get the next rally after this. Now, guys, whilst a couple of the coins I've talked about today are not yet available on centralized exchange, I guarantee that pretty much every other coin that I talk about on this channel will be available on MEXC. MEXC has 4,500 different crypto coins. Its fees are also the lowest across crypto. Okay, this makes for it being one of the easiest and best exchanges to be using. If you're using Coinbase and Binance and you're wondering why you can't find these coins, it's very difficult for newer projects to get onto Coinbase and Binance. You will not find smaller cap coins over there, I promise you. You need to use MEXC, which is linked down below in the description. That's a bonus link as well, so make sure you use that one because it will give you various trading bonuses up to $12 million in rewards and potentially the supercar, which is obviously very exciting. Also, I recommend as well that you sign up for Bitunix. I use these two exchanges every single day. Bitunix does not require a KYC. It also lists a huge amount of different coins. I know for sure MLC, My Lovely Planet's coin is over there, and a few others that we have been talking about today. So again, sign up for Bitunix, use MEXC, and you're going to be able to buy every coin that you ever wanted with the lowest fees across the game. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it useful. Remember, obviously, go and do your own research. Coins can go up as well as down in the short term, but longer term, I'm very bullish on all of the coins that I talked about today. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Bye-bye.